Okay, the process of stress. So the process of stress, there are three processes of stress. First one is stressors, second one is stress, and the third one is strains. So when we discuss about the symptoms of stress just now, we are basically talking about the second process, which is the stress itself. Okay, what are the feelings? Okay, what are the emotion, the physical feelings of the persons who experience the stress? So before we experience the stress, there must be stressors, factors, causes that makes us feel the stress, which is the first process. So the first process, is the existence of the stressors that cause the person to feel the stress, the feeling of stress, which have been manifested by all of the symptoms that we discussed just now. And when the stress happens, it will lead to something else. Okay, it will lead to mental health, it will lead to physical health and everything. That are the strains, which is the effects of stress. So there are three processes of stress: stressor, stress, and strain. Okay, now let's focus on the stressor. Okay, the sources of stress, factors that make people feel stress. So similar to the symptom of stress, there are many stressors, there are many factors identified by the researchers, by the health practitioners on what are the reason, what are the factors, what are the sources that makes people experience stress. So these all factors can be categorized into four categories sources of stress, which are: the first one, personal stressors; second one, occupational stressors; third one, physical work environment; and the fourth one, work schedules. Okay, let's look at personal stress. So why people experience stress, feeling stress? First, because they have fear. Okay, they fear towards something. Okay, they fear something will happen. Second, because of resistance. Okay, remember when we talk about organizational change, the main problems of implementation of change initiative is the resistance towards the change. Same concept also apply here, whereby the person resistance to share their feelings, resistance to follow the norms, resistance to follow the practice, and what happened? They are putting themselves under pressure. Secondly, resentments. Okay, the feelings of irritability. Excuse me, they feel that people don't like them. Okay, they feel that they are being outgrown. Okay, people disregard themselves. Okay, they feel resentment. Okay, also the cause of stress. And then frustration, frustrations towards the work, frustrations toward the financial status, frustrations toward relationships, a lot of frustration. So it also may lead to stress. Next is forecasting. Forecasting is basically the terms used to refer to individuals' tendency to predict some things in the future, and usually predicting negative outcomes. Okay, predicting negative consequences, predicting negative events that they will face. Okay, for example, when the companies implement change, so they predict that they will be fired, they will be terminated. Okay, they will be changed. Okay, they will have to change their work, learn new things. So they are forecasting some things negative that will happen in the near future. So this also could lead to stressful emotion and stressful status. And lastly, residual stress. What is the meaning of residual stress? Residual stress means that the person has experienced stress before, and then that experience lead to the current emotion to feel stress as well. Okay, because of the prior experience of stress. So these 6 factors are the individual's factors, the individual stimulus that make a person feel stressed in a particular organizations or in a particular jobs. Okay, the second stress source is all related to occupation. Okay, the job of the persons. So we can categorize further into two: job characteristics as well as organizational characteristics. Why people feel stressed? Because there are factors related to their occupation that makes them feeling that tension. First one is job characteristic. Under job characteristic, why people feel stressed? Because of role conflict. Because of role conflict. When they work in an organization, we all of us have a very specific job scopes. But sometimes there are occasions, there are people who are not clear what are their responsibilities, what are their duties, what are their tasks, and they are feeling uncertain and they cannot plan properly. Why? Because they have role ambiguity. Okay, they also have role conflicts and role ambiguity because they do not sure what to do. And sometimes it could also happen when the tasks and responsibilities are overlaps. There are more than one person responsible to perform the same task, the same jobs, also will involve role conflicts and role ambiguity. They are not clear what need to do, what need to finish, when need to finish. And then lastly, role overload. Okay, for a certain persons, we have our own capacity and it's different from others. Some others have bigger capacity than us and some others have smaller capacity than us. However, when there are overloads of job or task or activity that need to be performed, people will feel stressful. Why? Because they cannot cope. They will not be able to perform their task because there are so many things on their tables. Okay, there are so many things on their plates. There are so many things that they are unable to fulfill everything. Okay, so these three conflicts, ambiguity and overload of roles related to the job itself. Okay, it's job characteristics. Besides job characteristics, people feel stressful also because of the organizational features, because of the organizational characteristics, such as what? Such as person organization fits. Okay, some of you have done assignments, some of you have done reading and reviews on person organization fits. By now, we know that we need people to match, to be consistent in terms of their own personal values as well as the values, the vision and the mission and the orientation of the companies that they are working with. If they are mismatched, their values are different from the organizations, then they will feel stressful. Why? Because there is no fit between themselves and the organization and the company. And next, rules and policies. You might be asking, if you don't like the rules, if you don't like the policies, why you decide to work here? But remember, rules and policies can always be introduced later. Okay, sometimes when they decide to join the organizations, when they decide to join the company, the regulations, the rules is not there yet. And then after work for 4 or 5 years, and then the new rules are implemented, and some people will feel stressful because of the implementation of the new rules and policies. Next, organizational characteristic that makes people feel stressful, and one of the main factors, relationship with others. It could be relationship with the co-workers, interpersonal problems, relationship with the superior, relationship with the supervisor, relationship with the managers, relationship with people with other department, or relationship with the customers, relationship with the vendors, suppliers. Okay, all sort of relationship that involve others, and if there are conflicts, there are negative environment, negative relationships, it could make people feel stressful. And next, organizational change. Okay, organizational change is sometimes for the company must embrace the change because of the conflicts, because of change happen, it must embrace the change. But most of the times, the employees are not ready for the change. They do not have enough information for the change. What happened? it makes them feel stressful. Why? Because they have negative attitudes towards change, so they don't want to accept, they don't want to follow. Okay, they are resistance. So what happens? They will feel stressful. And lastly, organizational politics or office politics. And usually when you come into an organization or company, they have their own way of doing things, okay, their own culture, okay, their own habits. Okay, sometimes you cannot follow this culture, these politics. And what happens? People are backbiting, okay, people are fighting, people are not on the same page with each other. Okay, less trust or no trust at all. So it's involved the politics in the organization. And all of these person, organization fit, rules and policies, relationship with others, organizational change and organizational politics may influence people or may cause people to feel stressful. Okay, so beside personal stressors and occupational stressors, there are physical work environment as well. Okay, physical work environments, okay, the environment that we are working may as well cause us to feel stress. Okay, don't be surprised that the level of noise that we are hearing while working can make us feel stressed. Okay, you can imagine that if you need to work something that you need to think, okay, you need to write reports, you need to analyze, but the working environments are too noisy with the music, with the with other people talking, with the noise of the machine and etc. It makes you feel stressful. Okay, same goes to temperature. Okay, we have our own limits. Okay, we can tolerate the heat, for example, but to what extent? If for example, the air conditioner at your office, at your factories is not working, can you work there? If you are forced to work even though there are no air conditioner at that particular day, you will feel stressful. Okay, the physical work environment. You will learn more about this when you learn in economics or human factors. And the last sources of stress are related to work schedules. Okay, work schedules such as shift work. There are people who have to work on shift. Okay, this week they are morning shift, next week they are afternoon shift, and week after that they are night shift. Even professionals have to work shift. For example, doctors, okay, they are on shift. So shift usually what it causes people to always to constantly change their body clock, their circadian rhythm, which influence their sleep patterns. So when people have problems sleeping, they may develop stress. Okay, it will disturb their mood. Okay, because of what? Because of their work schedule, which they have to work on shift. Moonlighting. Okay, moonlighting is the terms used to refer to people who hold more than one jobs. Okay, hold more than one job. For example, during the day, I work as a lecturer, I work as a teacher. At night, I work as a bonzer, for example. At night, I sell food at the pasar malam, for example. So I have two jobs at the same time. So it's moonlighting. When you are doing more than one job at particular times, you will have problems to make sure that you have enough rest, you have enough sleep. So what happens? You will also feel stressful because of your extra job. And another one is overload. Okay, overload means that sometimes you have to cover other co-workers who suddenly have emergencies, or maybe you are the most or the best workers there. You have to oversee. Okay, you have to look all of other work. You have to supervise and make sure qualities. There are so many things on your shoulders. There are so many responsibilities that you need to fulfill. Okay, they are overload of work. So these personal stressors, occupational stressors, physical work environments which is not conducive, and work schedules are all the factors that may influence why some employees feel stressed.